What's going on, guys? Jordan Richards here, back for another video, and today I'm going to be talking about audio and some of the things that I use to deliver better quality audio for my videos. Now, the first thing I want to discuss is kind of like some of the instruments I use, some of the equipment I use. I come from, the video world, a bit of podcasting, so I have a podcast mic, as you guys may have seen. I do have a video mic that I'm using right now, and I want to tell you guys some of the things that you can do to help you get better sounding audio for your videos. Now, the first principle to understand is that whether you're shooting with a phone, a camera, no matter what you're doing, wherever that audio source is, you want to get your mouth as close as possible to that audio. That's going to give you the cleanest sound. That's going to give you the loudest sound as well. And it's going to be easier for you to use if you need to do post-production, some EQ, and all of these things that can make your audio sound better. Now, it sounds easy in principle, but depending on what camera you're shooting on, maybe you need to shoot from a little bit further away to get a better image. Depending on what you're using to record, you may not have an external microphone like I do and all the equipment to get that set up. That's totally okay. Now, the first place you want to start is with a lapel mic. If you're very, very new, getting really started, you can use your audio out of your iPhone or whatever phone you have, but I would highly suggest going on Amazon and picking up a lapel mic. It's one of the great ways that you can just attach a mic to your shirt, whatever, and then record directly into your phone and get really good sounding audio. You'd be really surprised. Like, I've used one in the past to do a couple of podcasts with friends, and it actually works a lot better than you expect for something that's maybe only $25, $30 at most. And that's another way you can elevate your videos. Now, of course, depending on how that's set up, you will have to then attach that audio to your video in post-production, which not everyone knows how to do, but that's something that you could practice and learn, because no matter how you want to shoot your videos, there may be a time where you're not going to have your audio and video fully synced up. And that's something you're going to have to practice, because when you talk about one of the most frustrating things, no matter what it is, if you find, any type of clip, whether it's YouTube, whether it's on whatever, and the audio and the video isn't quite synced up, that can be one of the just most annoying things to watch. And some people, they won't notice it, but for me, someone who does it on a regular basis, I tend to notice those things, and I've made my own mistakes with it. It's a learning process, but it's definitely something that I would highly encourage you guys try out, because it can help you get much better sounding audio. If I was to record directly into this camera, the audio is bad, man. It's really bad. It echoes, it picks up all different kind of sounds. Like, it's just not clean. It's not really workable. And you can tell that in the quality of my work if I was to make that switch versus this microphone that I have right now. Now, the microphone I'm using is the Rode NT-G4 Plus. I got it, I think, 8 months ago or so, and the main reason why was because I didn't have a microphone like this that I could boom over my head. So this microphone is just directly above my head. It's all set up, and then basically what I have is a series of wires that are called XLR cables. Now, XLR is the higher end type of audio cable, and that's what carries these really good signals, so you get really high quality audio. But the problem is that it doesn't just start with the microphone. You got to take the microphone and you got to put it into something. So for me, I put it into a cloud lifter, and what that does is it boosts the signal a little bit, because sometimes, depending on what microphone you're using, the audio can come in a little bit flat and a little bit quiet. So you need a preamp to help boost that audio before it goes into your audio interface. Now again, so we're going from the sound out of my voice to the microphone through the cables. Mine goes into a cloud lifter. You don't have to do that though. And then it goes into the audio interface or the sound mixer, depending on what you have. I have a basic audio interface. It's a Focusrite Scarlett. I believe it's a 212i. So that's a 2 input Scarlett Focusrite. And it works pretty good. It handles the job right now, and then it goes through USB-C to get powered by my computer. But the lucky thing for me is that because I have all the necessary cables, I actually take the audio that goes into that Focusrite and plug it directly into my camera. So all these issues I'm talking about with audio sync, I don't have those issues because mine's plugged in directly. But for some people, they don't have that option, and they have to use an external recorder or whatever the case may be, at which point then you have to sync your audio after the fact. And it's not a big deal. You get used to it as you practice it more and more. But that's how I go about it. So again, to kind of re-solidify how I put together my audio, is I get my audio out of my microphone, which is the NT-G4 Plus, through some XLR cables, which goes into a cloud lifter. That cloud lifter then boosts the signal and sends it to my Focusrite, which is my audio mixer. That kind of controls my audio levels as it comes through the microphone, make sure it doesn't go too high or too low, and I can turn those dials up and down as I see fit. And then I have that go through the headphone jack of the Focusrite and into my camera. Now, of course, I wish it was that easy and I could just give you that raw audio, but then I got to go through and I got to make it sound a little bit better. I have to change my levels, and that's kind of where EQ comes in. I'm not an audio engineer by any stretch, but I would highly suggest anyone who wants to get into video or is into podcasting to look into what EQ is. And EQ is equalization of your voice. It changes your high tones, your mid tones, your low tones, so you can get a deeper sounding voice if you don't have a very deep voice naturally, or you want to kind of make your audio sound more full, more broadcast quality, like you hear on the radio, all these different things. So there isn't like a one size fits all. You can buy presets for your voice, but ultimately it's important to learn how to EQ your own voice, figure out how to set that so every time you make a new video, make a new podcast, ultimately all you have to do is click on that preset and it will load up all the settings you already developed for your voice or for anyone else's voice for maybe that you edit for or anything like that. Like I have a setting for my buddy Ray whose videos that I do. So like for instance, when we shoot our videos, which is the Black Box Show on his YouTube channel, that I actually have to do all the sound mixing for. So I have to check both of our levels, I EQ them both, I cut it all up, and then I export it. Then what happens is once I take that, I take both our video files and merge them into one once it's all cut. And that's how you see the final edit. So it's a lot more work than it seems. I use mostly GarageBand for that. You can also do it in your native video editing app. Depending on what I got going on, I won't even bother doing a full EQ on it. You can do a little something in Final Cut Pro, which is what I use to edit my videos. And so even something as simple as that can get you a lot further in your audio, because it is important to understand that as much as your product is visual, it's just as important to add that audio component, make the audio component as best as it possibly can be. And that includes adding background music. I would not understate the power of what background music can do to kind of enhance what your video is. And for a lot of people, what it does is it sets a mood. Setting a mood is really important because depending on what's going on in your video, people don't realize it, but the music that you hear in a movie, in a television show, or even in a YouTube video can give you an idea as to what's going to happen. And it can be preemptive to kind of let you know what may be coming and foreshadowing into the future. And it's not to say that, it does this all the time, but certain instances, you may be going out for a vlog and a hike or whatever, and you play happy, fun music. Again, it just helps enhance that whole user experience. And ultimately, that's what you're trying to do with all your videos. You're trying to find the best way to make your content easily digestible. And for me, audio is becoming a bigger and bigger component. And as I learn more and more, I'm going to share that all with you. But I'm probably going to drop a few tutorials in the description. I made a tutorial of my own, but I'm not the best at it, and I kind of just been playing around with my voice a little bit and EQ it in GarageBand. So I would highly suggest all of you guys do that as well. Whether it's GarageBand, you can use Logic, you could use a more professional software depending on what you have. Adobe Audition is another great one. But it's one way that you can make yourself stand out because it's not something that everyone does. Some people do it and it makes their audio sound a lot better, but not everyone does. So again, I'm trying to teach you guys ways you can stand out, the ways you can have better quality videos in all facets, visually, audio, all those things. And of course, I'm going to have to get into effects at some point. I'm not the best with effects, but I got a few tips and tricks, a few things up my sleeve that I do pretty well. And I can teach you guys in the future once I kind of get a better idea of how I'm going to teach you. If there's one thing I know about myself, I'm not the best teacher, but this is a forum for me to kind of learn as well. How I teach you guys and what you learn from me is ultimately how I'm going to grow as a content creator, as a teacher, and learn things myself, right? That's how we all get better. It's all by trial and error, practice, and I'm here to help you guys get better. And so I hope this kind of helped you guys out. Please, if you have any more questions, let me know. A lot of it, like I said, is trial and error, but this is how I do the audio for my videos, and the same premise is for my podcast. All I do is swap out the mic. So the microphone I have for the podcast is the Shure SM7B, and so that microphone is a great, really, really powerful microphone. I like it a lot. But definitely, guys, you need to do some trial and error with audio because it's not as simple as just plugging in a microphone or recording to whatever you got. You got to try and do a little bit more with that. And I'm telling you, that little bit extra can go a really long way. So I'd highly encourage it. Keep practicing, keep getting better, and keep being creative. That's what makes you a lot better in the end, is to ultimately just keep practicing. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one where I maybe do some graphic design stuff. I'm not too sure yet. Maybe I'll actually do like a small little vlog. I've been trying to, go outside a bit more and do some stuff like that, but we'll see. We'll see. I got to do one on frame rates too, talk about some slow motion, teach you guys how to do that. And there's a lot of things I want to do. I got a big checklist, but I'm hoping to get you guys something real soon that you'll enjoy a lot, and hopefully you'll learn a lot from as well. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.